Okay, so now we're on to our next buddyism. The next one is from, yes, it's not Roar of 74, but it is very alive at Ronnie Scott's. It's from the Duke Ellington tune In a Mellow Tone. And this comes in at the very end. I think it's 5 minutes 30. It's the last thing he does. Now, I can't play it to the speed that he does it, and I'm not even going to attempt to play it at the speed he does it. He does a wonderful thing where he traps the cymbal and he goes from his crash to his splash to his ride to his other crash, and then plays the last part of a triplet, which is the rhythm he uses, on the floor tom into a bass drum, and then plays the last stabs with the band. And it just looks great because he goes around all these cymbals, trapping them as he goes, and it's like wonderful. And I saw him do it a few times myself at Bristol Colston Hall. Ah, wonderful. But anyway, what I got from it was the idea of trapping the cymbal. And I mentioned John Blackwell earlier with Prince back in the day, and I saw him do this a lot. And I know a lot of drummers have done it, but for me, watching Buddy in those early stages of my drumming career, he was the first drummer I'd seen do it. So I'd be sat in front of the TV with my VCR, that's video cassette, watching forward and reversing, you know, his playing on the Parkinson TV show, or Wogan, or these other chat shows that used to come on. Anyway, so when he used to do these little tricks, I was always fascinated by it. And of course, it was tricks back in the day, it looked clever. But over the years, I've managed to work it into how I play. Now, it's one of those things that you wouldn't necessarily put on a singer-songwriter track, you know, Eva Cassidy type vibe. It's not that kind of a musical thing. It's more of a kind of showy thing, I would say. But it is extremely useful. So what he does, he puts the cymbal, instead of just trapping it like this is one way you could do it. I've seen John Blackwell do it, and a lot of funk drummers maybe emphasize beat one of a groove by doing this. So they could go 2, 3... You know, that's cool. I think Jonathan Moffat did it with Michael Jackson as well. It's cool hitting the cymbals and trapping them, and the band hit stabs with it. It's all very funky, very cool, very syncopated. But Buddy's thing wasn't necessarily that. He was actually using it as part of a phrase. And he wasn't playing it at the same time as a bass drum. It actually had an independent stroke or independent sound. So if I stick some triplets, 1-ander, 2-ander, 3-ander, 4-ander, so eighth note triplets on the snare, then I'll go into playing triplets between my bass drum and just my crash. And I'm going to play the same triplet, but it'll be voiced between those two parts of the instrument rather than like, not like that. They'll be independent. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.